What is up, guys? I just finished my adventures with Superman, and in this show we follow Clark, Lois, and Jimmy as interns at the Daily Planet, as well as Clark figuring out his Kryptonian powers and building up his secret identity as Superman. Now I'm gonna be honest, when I first heard about this Superman show being turned into an anime, I dropped to my knees crying. I thought it was all over. They turned the GOAT into some shitty anime show. I wasn't having it. I fucking hate anime. Anime is for little bitches.
Every day I wake up and I hope you're dead.
Hey, put the guns down. Please, please, please. Sorry, I was just joking. No, don't shoot, no. But anyways, I got off my ass, stopped being a little bitch, and rolled into my living room and pressed play. Yeah, I take back everything I said. Just diving into the characters here, we have Clark, Jimmy, and Lois, and I love them all. They are amazing and exactly like their comic book counterparts. Clark is clumsy, nerdy, and just wants to do the right thing. Lois is always looking for a new story, and Jimmy is there to support his friends, get some evidence. Now, I understand that Clark is always a simp for Lois, but I just did not understand it in this show. Like, what did he see in her? It's nothing special. But then, I saw it. Her giant yacht right in front of my face. Those two big cheeks looking like Big Mac buns. I couldn't resist, and how could he? I knew from right there not only why Clark loved her, but I knew she was the plot. But enough of me simping Lois. I also like how they had Clark and Jimmy in here as friends from the start and roommates. I think that was a cool and unique take they did. Also, Jimmy runs a social media account called Flamebird. He uses it to talk about stuff that are going on in the world, like secrets or sightings or Superman. I thought that was also cool, which he also sells that account at the end of the show for like $3.2 million or something, and says it casually to everyone like it happens every week. I like how he kind of flexed on everyone there. It was pretty funny. Speaking of great characters, let's talk about the villains of the show. Now, you get a lot of great villains in this show. You get Silver Banshee, Livewire, Parasite, even Deathstroke. But the main villains of the show are Task Force X themselves. But this time around, Amanda Waller isn't actually the leader of Task Force X yet. The head leader is actually Colonel Lane. If that last name sounds familiar, that's because it's Lois's last name, Lois Lane. And that was a crazy twist I did not see coming, and I absolutely loved it. I also liked how the dad actually meets Clark at the end of the show and shows up to the Kent's house for Thanksgiving, because that was absolutely hilarious. Because when Clark opens the door and sees the man that's been trying to kill him this whole entire show at his doorstep, his soul absolutely leaves his body. Now you might be wondering, why would they want to kill Superman? Well, it turns out that Colonel Lane and Amanda Waller were friends back in the day and were actually training in the army. And one day while they were training, a portal opened up, and what came through was an alien invasion, and they were Kryptonians, and they killed a lot of their people. Now, Clark had nothing to do with this, obviously, but since he's Kryptonian, the people that attacked him are Kryptonian, he decided it was him and started to go after him. And actually, something also cool they do here is they get their hands on some Kryptonian weapons and give those to the villains like Silver Banshee or Livewire, so I thought that was pretty cool that the tech they had were Kryptonian tech. Now, those two villains I want to talk about that are saved for the end of the season are Brainiac and General Zod. And their designs look cool, but I swear to God, if they're just androids and there's no humans underneath those suits, I will fly the WB animation myself and flood their fucking toilets, because I will not have it. But moving on the action side of things, I thought the action was really good. I liked how the weapons they were using were Kryptonian. I also liked how Superman had electric kind of base powers. I saw a lot of people complaining about them. I thought they were really cool and neat. So overall, I thought the action was great. Touching base on animation, the animation is really beautiful. I really liked it. I loved how the art style kind of felt like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I really didn't have any problems with the animation. It was smooth, nice looking, bright, colorful, and I really liked it. Jumping in the comedy, it was pretty good. It was comedic when it had to be, but when it got serious, it didn't try to put a comedic joke in the serious parts, so I liked how it only stayed funny when it had to be. Jumping into emotion here, the emotion is also really good in here as well. It really makes you feel sorry for Superman when people are going after him, trying to kill him for something he didn't even do. Moving into my last thing, I want to talk about music. Music is great. especially for the theme at the beginning, is a bop, and I loved it. Okay, now touching base on some negative things I have about this show. One is, I feel like the episodes were too short for me, like 22 minutes just flies by so fast, especially when you have to wait till the next week for a new episode and they're not all dropped at once. So it kind of pissed me off. I didn't like how they revealed Superman's identity, the Lois and Jimmy, right away. I feel like they should have saved that for like a season 2 because it kind of just felt rushed. But overall, My Adventures with Superman is fun, action-packed, has great characters and beautiful animation, and is now not only one of my favorite DC TV shows, but my favorite Superman show. I'm gonna give the first season of My Adventures with Superman a 9 out of 10. I highly recommend it if you haven't watched it. But that's gonna be it for my review. Tell me down below what you thought of the show. If you liked it or didn't, please go down there right now, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. But that's gonna be it. So see you guys in the next one.